Okay, today I'm taking a look at Fireteam. This is a, well, as it says there, rules-light military science fiction role-playing game, but it's also gives you the feeling of a miniatures skirmish game. So you could possibly adapt the rules here for use in other RPGs if you wanted. As we go through the rules, you'll see there's not a lot more here than combat. That's the entire focus of this game. They're not looking to take you through a lot of rescuing princesses, that sort of thing, and having interpersonal relationships. No, this is about getting on scene, blowing away the bad guys, and then getting back home and celebrating. That's what this game is all about. So let's take a little look through here. So I've highlighted in yellow some things to bring out. So quick one-shots, high action, fast combat. There's not a lot of detailed numbers for you to worry about in this game, which means it is going to play quickly. Okay, so we move on here. It is designed for grid-based maps, so of course it works well on a tabletop, a chessboard, or even in your virtual tabletop if you wish. PCs in this game, they have high survival rate, so it is hard to kill a PC, and NPCs have low stats, low hit points, so you can knock them off quick. So again, this is your heroic hero. He marches into a room and he starts, he shoots top left and takes out the bad guy there. He shoots bottom right, he takes out the bad guy there. Almost like a video game. Okay, so there is a minimal background here, as in it talks about the Interplanetary Combine, IC as it refers to it, which is the biggest of the human conglomerates. So society is based across vast swathes of space, millions of planets, that sort of thing. So ComGov, which is in the Interplanetary Combine, is controlled by the Senate on their central command on Luna in the Sol system. So again, it's very Earth-based, but still far future. As I say, humanity has spread a long way. The sort of things that your heroes are going to have to deal with includes insurrection, terrorism, and strange alien dangers. Okay, so we've got a timeline here which takes us through and shows the fragmentation of human society. But they use the slip drive to get around between planets, and you can travel to any destination within range of your ship within 6 hours. So quite a deviation from travelers' 1 week journey time. In this case, it's 6 hours. Okay, so there's a lot of history there, which I'm just going to scroll past. This had me pondering for a minute or two. I think it's the Moon and Earth. I think that's what they're showing here. So this could be the symbol for ComGov on Luna. Possibly. I don't know. I'm just guessing there. So what are the threats that your heroes are going to have to deal with? So we've got the Gene League, who, after generations of eugenics and gene alterations, have bred themselves into a new, as they see it, improved version of the humans. Bigger, stronger, faster, more intelligent. Quite scary, to be honest. We've also got the Outer Worlds Coalition. This is a bunch of people who've split away from IC. They don't want anything to do with those people anymore. They want to rule themselves. We've got the Blood of Sol, who are a terrorist group, so they could turn up anywhere. And the Barusai, or Barusi. These are an alien race. Now, we don't have any pictures of them, and it's kind of left up to you. So it's a bit of a mystery, and you can make them as big and bad as you want. Okay, so here we go through creating a Fireteam character, but let me just switch over to the character sheet here. I think this shows you everything you need to see, really. Name, team names, obviously your team's like the A team, you've got a name for yourselves, and an individual rank for your character, and the 3 main stats: combat, command, and control. These are low numbers, so I don't know, 3 to 5 would be average, I guess, and these represent a dice pool. So each point you've got in the stat gives you a d6, and most of the rolling in the game is you roll your dice, and if you get a 5 or a 6, then that's a success. So it goes on to describe what the stats can be used for. A nice bit of art there. Space Marine Badass. Yeah, so you have 8 points to split between the 3 stats. And then you can pick a class. So that we've got 4 classes here. So the assault class starts with 12 hit points. The medic starts with 10, tech with 10, and the heavy starts with 14. They've all got slight abilities as well, slightly different. So each character will feel different. Okay, to succeed at a roll, this is repeating what I've already said really. Players roll a number of d6s equal to the score of the relevant statistic. If the result is a 5 or a 6, then that counts as a success. So shooting is relatively easy if you've got a high combat score because you're rolling a whole bunch of dice, each with 1/3 chance of getting at least one success. So a combat round lasts 5 seconds in real time. Player wants to avoid being damaged, they can roll their control statistic. It costs them an action to do so, but then they can try and dodge the damage, that, diving behind cover, that sort of thing. And we do have rules for armor. They're very simplistic. You either have armor or you don't. And if you do, then it automatically stops 1 point of damage and has a 1 in 6 chance of stopping all damage, which I kind of like that. It doesn't matter what they're shooting, you've got a chance of reducing it by 1 or just stopping everything. So it's quick and it's easy, and you don't have to worry about how much of your body is covered, where you're being shot. There's none of that. This is about getting in, shooting up the bad guys and getting out. So you're not getting bogged down with all the numbers that could come along with, well, I'm behind 25% cover, my armor gives me a 10% reduction in laser damage, all that sort of complexity. Then we go through a few different weapons. Not many here. They categorize weapons. So you could have 20 different heavy assault cannons, but they all get categorized the same. Explosives, damage, healing, yes, experience, all the usual sort of things. So you can keep playing your games and come back with a badderer, asserer character next time. A little equipment list. Again, you're not going to get bogged down. This is great for the one-shot. Maybe 2 of you guys haven't turned up to today's session. You crack out the Fireteam, you roll up your characters in 5 minutes maybe, and you can be into playing a mission. And that's where this little booklet comes into its own, to be honest. I'll show you in a second. So we've got rules for vehicles and starships, but as you can see, they're fairly minimalistic. You're not going to get bogged down in starship combat. This is all about getting your character into a combat. So non-player characters, or bad guys, are cheap as chips. They've got low numbers in all their stats, and they've only got 2 health points. Most weapons will do, like the pistol is one of the lowest weapons, and it does a D3. So you've still got a very good chance of taking them out in one shot. So bad guys are easy, but you can get various levels of bad guys. Okay, and this is where this silly little game, and it is a little game, it's 46 pages in this PDF, comes into its own. It really starts to shine because it's giving you all the rules for creating your skirmish game, as it were, your quick combat. But then we go into actual combat missions that are included in here. So, and these are very familiar to any role player. Obviously, you've got a map, rooms, you've got room descriptions, you've got a key to it, just like a dungeon if you were playing, any OSR game. And then we go into second combat mission and so on. So you can see my scroll. Oh no, you can't see the scroll bar, but my scroll bar is only halfway through the book. So if I just scroll down, you've got all these ready to go combat missions. Tons of fun, and obviously the character sheet at the end, which I'll just flick back. Was there anything else I wanted to tell you about on here? So what class are you? That's your specialist role and your 1 or 2 little abilities. You can add in there equipment, weapons, and what your current health is. Yeah, that's about it. So if you're looking for a fun game that you can just drop in at the drop of a hat, somebody doesn't turn up, you can just play it. This is perfect. Perfect for having a great shooty time. This is Fireteam, and let's just go back to here. I want to find out who it was by. I can't remember off the top of my head. Farsight Games. There you go. Fireteam by Farsight Games. If you want to get a copy of this, I've put a link in the description below.